In this video, part one of a clip he asked me to record back in February, where he shares his side of the story, you'll really see just how deeply manipulated I was. It also explains why I stayed by his side through the breakup. I genuinely believed everything he told me because of how much he had me under his control. Once you watch all the clips and go through the receipts, everything will make a lot more sense. And just so you know, I've got text messages and more proof between me and him coming out soon too. Meanwhile, James Charles has found himself tangled in yet another major controversy that's exploding all over the internet. Fans are begging him to finally break his silence and clear things up, but his refusal to say anything is only making him look even guiltier. Let's be honest, James doesn't exactly have a spotless reputation, and this latest drama definitely isn't helping. So let's dive into all the chaos that's unfolding. You'd think that with the baggage James is already carrying, he'd want to stay low-key and focus on promoting his brand, Painted, hoping people would forget about his shady past. But nope. Rumor has it James might be up to some shady behavior again, and naturally people are side-eyeing him hard. At this point, hearing James's name tied to another scandal isn't even shocking anymore, right? But this time, it feels different. It's not just another messy situation. It's about who James is allegedly backing up and possibly protecting. And people are seriously furious. To really break it down, we need to talk about TikTok creator Kayla Malik, the disturbing accusations she's made, and how James somehow managed to get himself caught right in the middle of it all. Trust me, things get messy fast. If you haven't heard of Kayla Malik yet, let me catch you up. She's a TikTok star with millions of followers, known for her funny skits, collaborations with Spencer's, and hanging out with big names like Trisha Paytas and even James Charles himself. Chances are you've seen her pop up on your feed before, but lately it's not her comedy that's making waves, it's something way more serious. Kayla recently came forward with heavy allegations against her ex-boyfriend Evan Johnson, accusing him of domestic violence during their relationship. Her story blew up across TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, everywhere. People are rallying behind her, applauding her bravery for speaking out. Evan Johnson, a 20-year-old influencer who once played the perfect boyfriend online with his couple goals content, apparently painted a very different picture behind closed doors, according to Kayla. When Kayla decided to tell her truth, she gave a trigger warning first and then poured her heart out in a 2-hour video, followed by a second part that was just as intense. Not long after her story went public, Evan was arrested. Yep, actually arrested, on assault charges and for violating probation related to an earlier case. Even though he was released shortly after, the internet was already on fire. Just days after Kayla shared her story, Zack jumped in with his own video series showing major support for her. He revealed that right after Kayla dropped her bombshell, his own cousin reached out to him with her experience. Turns out, back in early 2023, she also had a relationship with Evan. While her story wasn't exactly the same as Kayla's, Zack said his cousin described facing similar shady behavior from Evan during their time together. Thank you, Kayla, if you're ever watching this, for speaking out. I know it must have been incredibly hard, and you're such a strong woman. I'm really sorry you had to go through all that. But thank you, because when you shared your story, it not only helped others, it also encouraged my cousin to open up. I had no idea Evan and my cousin were even a thing back in January and February of 2023. After you posted your podcast, she called me and the rest of the family. While what she experienced wasn't as extreme as what you went through, she did suffer a lot of abuse from Evan. Zack also mentioned that he personally knew Evan from modeling gigs and just being from the same small town, but he made it very clear that he's now completely cut ties with Evan. And then Zack dropped another bombshell. He revealed that he had footage from February 2025, way before Kayla's full expose went live, showing Evan already trying to address the rumors that were starting to swirl. In the video Zack posted publicly, Evan was basically attempting to defend himself against the early whispers online, even before Kayla's 2-hour YouTube video was out. At that point, rumors were just starting to bubble, and Evan was clearly scrambling to do some damage control. In the clip, Evan tries to paint their relationship as equally toxic, framing it like they were both at fault, trying to downplay Kayla's serious accusations and shift some of the blame back onto her. Honestly, it just screamed deflection. And now, this is where James Charles gets dragged even deeper into the mess. People started snooping and noticed that even after all these serious allegations broke, James was still following Evan on social media. Screenshots started flooding the internet, showing James's name right there on Evan's followers list. And of course, the internet went wild over it. In this video, part one of a series where he explains his side of the story, which he had me record back in February, you'll really see how badly manipulated I was. It'll also shed light on why I stayed by his side through the breakup, all because of how deeply he had me under his control. Once you watch all the videos and check out the receipts, you'll understand everything. And just so you know, I also have text messages and other proof between me and him that will be released soon. Now, onto something else. Getting into modeling, right? After we broke up, she started hitting me up, telling me how much she misses me. I shared a couple of clips talking about getting into modeling and how I'm working with my new modeling buddy. Then we'd text each other throughout the day, checking in and sharing how our days were going. I wasn't trying to manipulate her or pull any I want you back moves. I kept it clear. I need to focus on myself. But she kept texting me over and over again. And people started calling it a trauma bond or whatever that term is. When we were together for those 9 months, she said I was abusive the entire time, right? But why would we go out, do all these fun, adventurous things if it was truly that bad? If I was this terrible guy, why would she stay with me? She could have left me at any time. She has more money, more status. She doesn't need me. If she felt I was no good for her, she would have walked away immediately. I promise you that. But instead, she exaggerates everything over and over. And now she's decided she needs to make a series to create some drama and build a following. Now that we're broken up, I can't help but wonder, did she really love me? She would tell me behind the scenes, I love you, I miss you, but then turn around and paint a totally different story for you all. I don't get it. People started coming for James hard, questioning why he would still be connected to someone facing these kinds of accusations. Some even claimed that by following Evan, James was essentially endorsing him. Whether James meant that or not, the optics were terrible, really terrible. Instead of unfollowing Evan quietly and moving on, James did what he does best. Nothing, no statement, no post, not even a subtle like. His silence made everything look worse, adding fuel to the backlash. People were accusing him of trying to protect his brand while still keeping ties with a figure embroiled in serious controversy. Given James' history, no one was feeling particularly forgiving this time. Some even started dragging his brand painted, claiming they wouldn't support anything linked to someone who couldn't even sever ties with someone like Evan. And just when people thought the drama couldn't get any messier, more tea started spilling. TikTok sleuths dug up old DMs between James and Evan, and the vibes? Not great. It looked like James had been friends with Evan for a lot longer than anyone realized, maybe even hyping him up in the past. Some fans tried to defend James, saying he might not have known about Evan's history. But let's be real. Once the allegations hit the fan, there's no excuse for staying quiet. Especially for someone like James, who knows just how fast the internet can destroy your reputation when receipts start surfacing. What made it even worse was that instead of apologizing or explaining, James went radio silent, pretending nothing was happening. And that only gave people more reasons to drag him even further. People even started making side-by-side timelines showing how James was cozying up to Evan around the time rumors about Evan's shady behavior were already circulating. By now, James wasn't just facing criticism, he was getting roasted across TikTok, Twitter, and Reddit. People were calling this another example of how influencers protect one another no matter the consequences, even when it hurts victims who are bravely speaking out. On February 28th, Evan flew to California to stay with James Charles. He was supposed to head home on March 3rd, but James convinced him to stay an extra night to relax and hang out. I know this because I was in contact with Evan the entire time he was in California. During this period, I learned a lot about what was happening behind the scenes. I even received a message from Evan while he was staying at James's house. It was clear he was feeling all high and mighty, considering who he was staying with and how things were playing out. I've got all the receipts to back this up. Everything's documented. So let me break down the drama. Kayla accused Evan of serious misconduct after their breakup and even warned James about Evan's behavior. But despite all this, James chose to stay close to Evan, keeping that fact hidden from Kayla. This silence only made things worse, and the fans quickly turned on James as he failed to publicly address the situation. Meanwhile, Zack has been stepping in, defending Kayla and calling out both Evan and James. He's got some serious legal proof, videos and messages that he's planning to release soon. And it gets even worse. Evan stayed at James's house while rumors about him were already swirling. This revelation had fans even more upset, accusing James of enabling bad behavior while betraying Kayla's trust. As if that wasn't enough, people started to boycott James and his brand Painted, saying they didn't want to support anyone who couldn't even cut ties with a controversial figure like Evan. But it didn't stop there. Zack dropped more bombs, hinting that even more evidence about James's involvement was on the way. Now, let's talk about James's reaction. Instead of addressing the growing accusations, James allegedly deleted comments, tried to silence Zack, and was off partying at Coachella while everything unfolded. Zack even revealed that James sent him some sketchy DMs, asking him to take down his videos, showing that James cared more about his image than actually doing the right thing. At this point, fans are fed up with James's pattern of avoiding accountability, and the backlash is only intensifying. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, and be sure to subscribe for more updates.